Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with the Osmoth. Today I want to talk about the IJN Hidaka. I think that's how you say it. Let me just have a look.
Hidaka.
Hidaka. It's Hidaka, okay. So IJN Hidaka. What is this thing like? Well, it's definitely an improvement over this absolute trash. The Tosa? No.
Tosa.
Hang on a minute. What's Japanese? Where are you? There you are.
Tosa.
Tosa. So it's Tosa. Tosa. It's Tosa, really. Um, this thing's trash, really. It doesn't matter how you angle, you're gonna get penned by every battleship, which is armed with 16-inch and above guns. When the Germans come in, I don't think that the Bismarck will be able to overmatch the armor when you angled, but definitely tier 9 and tier 10. I have no idea what the tier 9 and tier 10 is. But yeah, this thing's trash. This thing is utter trash. It's a terrible ship. Um, the Hidaka is so good. It is such an improvement. You get better secondaries. You get far better guns. Um, far better guns. They are good guns, and they hit really hard, really hard. We're you know, the dispersion is questionable. If we look at the Musashi 430, um, look at United States now. 385, yeah, so they are quite a bit more inaccurate than the Americans, but that's fine. Um, but what you are going to notice about these guns is that you're going to be able to actually overmatch a lot of cruisers now. Um, if they are completely bowing, then no, you won't. But if they are like kind of angles, like say if they're angled like this, or maybe like this, you're gonna smash right through their armor, right into the citadel. Um, Battleships, you can't. Not really. Tier 7 battleships, you probably just eat, really. Um, the secondaries are, well, they're fantastic, really. Um, I take the secondary mod, which decreases the reload time by half. So basically, these 127mm guns are just fantastic. These things eat things alive. If there's no carrier in the game, which I despise carriers, I absolutely despise carriers. Um, and this thing actually has some proper AA now, unlike the Tosa, which has basically no AA. This thing actually has proper AA, and it has a lot of flak as well. You can use these for secondaries, and when you do, these things really punish people. Really punish people. Um, the oh, sorry, the 140mm guns, they're decent. Um, they're not that impressive. But when you equip that secondary modification, that 10-second reload time goes down to tier 5, which is nice. You get a 5-second reload on all these 140mm guns, which is fantastic. You could think of yourself as like a Nagato which did a lot of heavy lifting. That's basically what the ship is. It's a beefed up Nagato. Um, can these ship not ships guns Citadel ships? They kinda can. Um, these things obliterate destroyers. Um, for some reason, the secondaries are incredibly inaccurate. They are incredibly inaccurate. 178 meters at 9 kilometers. These things are incredibly inaccurate, which is concerning. I feel like that dispersion is not right. It's definitely bigger than what it actually says. The muzzle velocity is very nice, but obviously these are 140mm guns, so they are going to drop off quite steeply. Um, these 127s are, they are decent. If you get the broadside of a light cruiser or a lightly armored heavy cruiser, you're gonna rip them to pieces. If you have HE loaded, now I'm not sure how secondaries work. I think how they work is let's see, have a look here. Uh, yeah, doesn't tell you anything basically. But yeah, basically this, the ship is nice. It is nice. The guns are, they're not the best guns. They really aren't the best guns, but they are pretty damn good. Like I said, they are definitely an improvement over the Tosa. The Tosa is, it's a bit of a letdown at tier 8, really. You go from the Nagato, which is, you know, it's workable, and you think, oh yes, get the Tosa. Yes, I get one more turret, so I get 10 410mm guns. Do I get anything more? Not really. I mean, you've got practically the same armor. You've got practically the same AA. The AA actually feels worse on the Tosa than it does on the Nagato, which is a bit concerning. Um, if I remember correctly, you are more maneuverable. 31.5, 12, 25, 25. Um, you are a bit maneuverable. You accelerate slower, but your rudder shift time is better, but your turn time, 180 degrees, is quite terrible. Um, it says here you only got 10 Type 96 guns, and then you go to the Tosa and it says it's got like 28 Type 96 guns. But honestly, the AA, it doesn't feel that impressive. It feels really weak. And then you get to the Hidaka, which, it really does punish planes which come close. It really does. Provided they're not tier 8 or tier 9 planes. If they're tier 8 planes, then this thing can do pretty good. If they're tier 9 planes, this thing starts to struggle. If they're tier 10 planes, just give up. I have tried to take the improved fuse, but I haven't seen a difference. I have not seen a difference in the AA. It says 15% damage, but I don't know. If we actually look at the AA, 10 kilometers for the AA. That's pretty damn good. Um, Obviously the AA doesn't start popping up until, God, when the planes are probably about 4 kilometers away. That's when the AA starts going off. So that 10 kilometers is not, it's not true. That's not true at all. The AA does not start firing. So take so that'll be what? That'll be 5.75 damage. So that'll be nearly 6 HE damage. That's not an improvement. I'm sorry, but it's not. That's sad. That's really sad. Um, the secondaries are good. The armor is it's pretty good. Like if you come up against like a Montana or Musashi or an Iowa or South Dakota or whatnot, like even a Colorado can smash you in the face. Um, I know that there's probably a lot of people out there that, own or did own a Hidaka. And, some will probably disagree with me, but the armor feels inconsistent with this ship. If you're completely nose in, the shape of the bow allows them to completely punch right through your bow, right into your citadel. There was a game that I was doing last night where I was fighting against Montana, and people part of the Naval 1945 Discord, and this Discord is part of a multi-game Discord. It's a massive Discord. But I asked them, how do I stop people from citadeling me? And they said, go bow in. Well, it didn't work. Montana kept on smashing me over and over and over and over again, right through the bow. Um, and I think that this thing needs some more bow armor, really, to be effective. It needs more armor to be, well, effective. Because right now it's not. It's doesn't I don't know, really. It is a really nice looking ship. I do like the look of the ship. It does have quite a bit of AA. It is the Type 96, and it does have less. I think it's like 10 less than the Tosa. But for some reason, I'm not sure if it's because of these, but for some reason the AA feels so much stronger than the Tosa. The Tosa, when I was playing it, I kept on getting absolutely smashed by CVs. Even tier 8 CVs I was getting smashed by. Obviously, you know, after they had done their drops and attack runs, um, once they were trying to escape, that's when my AA would really come into force. But, obviously when they were doing their attacks, my AA was like, it didn't want to hit anything. But this ship, it does feel pretty alright. And the thing is if you do take the additional armor plating, and the rugged engine room, and the additional damage control stations, the improved fuses, which it doesn't really change much, but it's better than nothing. And secondary modification, this thing is amazing. The secondary modification, yes, it decreases your range, but it does decrease your secondary weapon reload. And the thing I noticed also is it actually makes your secondary weapon dispersion worse by 30%, which that is quite a nerf. But it's better having that than having slow firing secondary. Superchargers on Naval 1918 this was 10%, but on here it's 25%. Which that doesn't sound a lot, but if you take 25% of what's the secondary? 800. So if we do yeah, that's 200. So that goes up to 1,000 meters a second. So that's a kilometer every second. Which means that these guns become insanely quick. They become really, really quick. I think the Americans might be a bit quicker. I'm not entirely sure. I will have to look. No, they're actually slower. They're actually slower. I think it's because they're heavier rounds. But the Hidaka, a really nice ship. Really, really nice ship. You are going to struggle primarily against the American battleships, the high tier ones. South Dakota. South Dakota it's all right to deal with. Iowa is more challenging to deal with, and then Montana, you might as well just give up. But if you can get within a secondary brawl with a Montana, the chances are he's probably going to lose the fight. And the reason why I say that is because if you're using the secondary modification, you want to eat him alive. You will eat him alive. And I've just noticed how many perks there are for CVs. There should be more perks for cruisers and destroyers and battleships, but most of these perks are for CVs, which is kind of sad, really. I wouldn't recommend taking. I mean, you could take improved recoil dampeners, but it will turn down your church first by 20%, which is quite a big impact. This is pretty nice to take. Improved first gear. It will cost you nearly 40,000 credits. The recoil dampeners are half a 100,000. Improved rangefinders. No, I wouldn't really. They're half a 100 grand. And it's got such a huge nerf to it. Magazine safety overrides. I have never ever been ammo-racked once running this. It's either it's bugged or I've just been very, very lucky. But running this with now provided I'll be running the magazine safety overrides with all of the the anti-citadel perks as well, like rugged engine and additional armor plating. Um, so keep that in mind. So if you do additional armor plating, magazine overrides, and then rugged engine, that's nearly 200k, which is a lot. But um, you know, if you do well, you're gonna make a lot. And running all those armor perks, you may say, oh, it's useless. It really isn't. If you get hit by torpedoes, they basically do no damage. If you get hit by rockets, now rockets do a absolute crap ton of damage. If they land all their rockets, they do a ridiculous amount of damage. But the torpedoes, if you are running additional armor plating, additional damage control, rugged engine room, and I think there was something else, but I can't remember. But if you're running all those, you basically take no damage from torpedoes. Um, which is cool. Uh, so my build for this ship is secondary modification alpha, rugged engine room, superchargers, magazine override. Bear in mind, this is if you can afford it. Improved fuses, additional damage control, and additional armor plating. Now that's half a mil already. But if you do well, you could be one hell of a tanky ship. Like, this thing can be so tanky at times. It's ridiculous how much damage you can soak up. You do have 330mm of belt armor. I'm not sure if that's with the bow and the stern as well, but that's along your entire belt. Your deck armor is 127, which means if we go to, say, Taiho, and then we look at look at these. It doesn't say the pen, but I've been struck by Midway and Taiho bombers, and they don't do a lot of damage, either because they can't pass through all the superstructure or they fail to pen the deck, which is cool. So I can't show you any gameplay now because there's no one on the server, which is sad. But basically, you want to play this like a Nagato, really. You want to play this like a big Nagato. That's how you want to play. I do apologize if I'm tired. I am exhausted. But yeah, play this like a Nagato. It would be cool to see this in one of warships or War Thunder or something like that. We've got the Yamato, we've got the Musashi, we've got the Shikishima. Obviously, the Shikishima isn't in this game. The Yamato isn't in this game. And I've actually been told the reason why the Yamato is not the tier 10 is because they didn't want it. They didn't want Yamato to be the tier 10 because the Yamato has too much AA. Which I find to be rather bollocks. Because the Montana has extreme amounts of AA, and no one complains about that. And yet they weren't prepared to put the Yamato as the tier 10. They could have made the Hidaka as the tier 10, the Tosa as tier 8, and then they probably maybe a unknown ship, maybe the maybe the Izumo as tier 9. That'd be cool. And then you would have like a branch off where you have Musashi and then Yamato. That would be pretty cool. I hope they do that. Because the Musashi sucks in AA. It really does. It is a pretty crap AA ship. From what I've seen. I could be completely wrong, but from what I've seen here, it's pretty crap. It doesn't really have a lot in AA. The Yamato would be so much better. The Yamato would definitely be so much better for AA. Because I feel like that CVs just have too much power. But we're not talking about CVs now. We're talking about the Hidaka. And the Hidaka, it sounds like attacker, but it's Hidaka, is pretty damn good. Pretty damn solid ship. I do like it. It's probably one of my favorite battleships, really. Not sure if they do any of like the YouTuber reward, ships or whatnot. But if they did, I would love to see like a 12 gun version of the Hidaka. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Maybe a 12 gun version of the Hidaka with completely, ridiculous secondaries. Maybe, these 14 centimeters instead of having 10-second reload, they have maybe say a 7.5 second reload. Something like that. That would be cool. That would be really, really cool. But yeah, this is a fantastic ship. You are going to struggle on the Tosa. You will struggle on the Tosa. It's not a pleasant experience, really. The guns are, should I say, underwhelming, really. I don't know why, but they are. They really are underwhelming. I can't really place why they're underwhelming, but they just are. They just are underwhelming. But the Hidaka is a breath of fresh air. This thing is more of a heavy cruiser killer than a battleship killer. If you get the broadside of a battleship, now what confuses me the most, and there's been so much debation, is the broadside of the ship is 409 millimeters. For some reason, the Hidaka cannot pen the broadside of the Montana with AP. It just can't do it. Which kind of sounds like a scripted error. And I would really like the mods to look into it, because I think that the Japanese battleships, they've got more character than the Americans. The Americans are they're just ruffle stompers, really. I mean, it's obvious they are just so much better than the Japanese. They are so much better. They have better secondaries. That's not true. But up until the Hidaka, I mean, the Hidaka has pretty damn good secondaries. The Tosa, kinda. The Nagato, again, kinda. The Fuso definitely has very good secondaries. The Congo, it does to a certain point. But yeah, the Japanese, they do have pretty good secondaries. The Americans do have pretty good secondaries. But yeah, I do like the Japanese battleships because they just have more character. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. If you did not enjoy this video, give it a thumbs down. Put in the comment section what you think of the Hidaka. Do you own the Hidaka? Do you want to own the Hidaka? If you're working up to the Hidaka, what ship are you on? Put in the comment section what ship you want to review next. I will try and get the Musashi. And when I do, then that'll be awesome. But anyway, I will see you guys later. Peace!